Hello, hello. This is Dr. Tamsin Astor, your Chief Habit Scientist, and I'm here today with the fabulous Camille. Will you share with me who you are and what you do in this world?
Thank you, Tamsin. Yes, I am a photographer and a musician. I'm also a mother of a 9-year-old. Um, so I'm currently working toward making my photography is kind of my side business, and I'm working toward making that like my main business, and also incorporating like music into my business as well as another outlet because it's something that I've always loved and never thought I could, make money doing. But I've learned different. So
Yay,
um,
fun.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So tell me a little bit what life and or business felt like before you started this program, this group coaching program with me.
Kind of like chaotic in a way. Like
Mm,
here, I would, do things here and there and not be consistent, or
mm,
not totally sure what I should do. What are like the key things that I should be doing in order to keep consistent? Because my thing would be I would work really hard and then burn out. And
mm.
I go, make a lot of progress, and then I burn out and just not be able to do anything for a few days, and then that would kill everything, and I'd feel bad about myself. And
This,
then I get back into that cycle of, okay, now I got to do more, and then burn out. Um,
gotcha. Yeah.
so yeah.
So when you think about what you've achieved and what you've done over the last 6 or 7 weeks on this in this program, what are some of the specific results that you've created as a result of working together in this program?
One of the big things for me, and it's actually slightly, I don't know, maybe off topic, but I have much more clarity
Mm,
on what I don't want to say should I be doing, but what I think works best for me.
mm.
So I have more clarity on like, I know we worked on one habit, but I have clarity on like, okay, here are a couple other things that I really would be helpful for me to incorporate and like work on making turning them into habits that stick.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Awesome.
taking that chaos and kind of,
Mm,
going, okay, well, it doesn't have to be like that. And I don't have to burn myself out. All I need to do, I just need to be consistent and create that habit instead
yeah.
of going, okay, now I'm going to work for, 4 hours after my daughter goes to sleep and then be exhausted tomorrow.
Right, 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 right. So if you think about the quality of your life or like how you're showing up in your life, has anything in that space really shifted since you've been working through this program with me and the other participants?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I've been doing mindset work for a while, but I feel like I've integrated that a little better. And I
Mm,
think part of that is just being consistent, because
mm,
once one of the things we talked about were roles.
yeah.
And that helped me a lot
Mm,
because thinking of myself in a certain way helps me show up in that way a little better.
mm,
Um, but yeah, the having the consistency also with like, okay, I'm doing my habit, even if it is a smaller version of my habit. If I'm doing it every day or I'm connected to it every day, it creates this. It almost solidifies that
mm.
sort of, here. This is who I am. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, so there's interesting. There's two pieces there. There's the mindset piece, so there's the how you think about yourself and how you're showing up. But there's also the momentum, and I think that's one of the things that people often get stuck with when they think about habits. Is they're like, it has to be this all or nothing, but it can just be just this little daily kind of tap forward that keeps the energy
Mhm.
in the right place, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was huge because I thought, I'm like, I have to do it all. I have to like, it has to, because my habit was I wanted to work on my business for an hour every day. And some days that didn't happen. But even if, I did a little bit, it helped because I couldn't, I was connected to it and I continued.
And that's such an issue for us entrepreneurs. We're good at doing the stuff, but working in, on our business is a totally different thing than working in our business, right? And making that space for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The different kind of habits around that. So, um, was there anything that stopped you from signing up and joining this program?
um, no, not really. I've known that I needed to like, I mean, I had read your book in the past and done other, you know, read other books on habits as well, and kind of knew like, oh, the, you know, the top performers you always hear, they have their morning routines, or, you know, their different habits that they always do. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was something that would help me. I didn't know exactly how, like there were other things that happened that I was like, hey, I didn't expect that to be part of this, but it was.
Yeah. Oh, good. Awesome. Anything in particular that really struck you that you didn't expect to be part of this habit journey?
For me, just kind of getting clarity on what I truly want to do, because
Mm.
I was sort of that, and also with the roles thing, just kind of bringing in things that I'm not yet doing, you know, roles that I don't
Mm.
yet have. For me, it was kind of like, okay, well, if I can think of myself as this person that I want to become, it helps me with my
Mm.
habit as well. But yeah, getting clarity on what I truly want to do in my business, and
Yeah.
realizing like, okay, I don't have to create something just like someone else.
Yeah.
I should, if I'm creating my own business, it should be what I want.
Exactly.
Um,
Yay.
so that was, yeah, and that was just, I didn't expect that out of, you know, working on a habit.
Yeah.
It seems sort of unrelated, but it was part of it.
But deeply related, right? Because our habits tie to who we are in the
It
world
is.
and how we show up. But I think people often just
Yeah.
think about habits in a kind of separate thing and not the way it's connected to who you are in the world, what you value, your big why, who you show up with, who you're interacting with on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, and especially if you're just thinking of habits in terms of like, I brush my teeth every morning,
Yeah.
or I, you know, make a smoothie on this day, you know, those things, you know, they do
Yeah.
correlate with who you are. You're taking care of yourself, but it's
Right.
not quite the same as, um, you know, like you digging into why you're doing, you know, if you're creating a business, why you're doing it, or if you're having a certain morning routine, why you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So when you think back over the last 6 or 7 weeks, did you hit any major kind of roadblocks or challenges or struggle with the creation of your habit?
Thanksgiving.
Mm.
Thanksgiving, and kind of catching a cold.
Mm.
Um, I did kind of go off. I would say off the rails. It sounds really bad, but I wasn't consistent over Thanksgiving.
Mm.
But I'm actually sort of grateful for that happening, because I was able to get back and look at it and go, okay, well, here's why. And um that also kind of ties into having like the smaller
Mhm.
versions of your habit, and like, okay, well, in the future when this comes up, I know that for, you know, a holiday like that, a break, or, you know, if you happen to catch a cold or something like that, there are smaller things that you can do
Mhm.
that won't, you know, take up as much of your time and energy, that, you know, when you don't have it, but will still keep you sort of in that flowing, like, okay, I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
little different, but I'm still doing it.
Yeah. So no, I appreciate that reflection. And I think that's important because we can gather data on ourselves, right? When the proverbial hits the fan, or we, or we have to deal with lots of other people, or public holidays, national holidays, get-togethers, family responsibilities. And I often say that to people, like, rather than feel crappy about it, use that as an experience of going, like, what does this tell me about my relationship with my habit, and who I am and how I'm showing up, rather than I stopped. It's all over, you know?
Yeah, that's how I would be. It's like, oh my gosh, I failed. And then I'd be so
Right,
hard on myself and then feel bad,
right, right.
versus, okay, well, you know, like you always mention giving yourself grace,
Mm,
you know, okay, I'm
yeah,
human.
yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. So, having experienced this program, who would you think, or who would you say this program is a great fit for?
Um, I mean, I'd want to say anybody, because everybody could benefit from, you know, um, organizing their life. But I mean, I think about it, I hear people say like, I don't have time, I'm so busy.
Mm,
And then, you know, I've had a couple people close to me say that, and it's like, well, let's talk about what are your obligations and stuff. And then when you have a conversation with somebody, sometimes you find out, well, they actually do have time. They're just doing things very inefficiently.
Right.
And, it's like, oh, well, you could probably benefit from having a routine, from creating some sort of habit around it. So I would say probably people that think that they are pressed for time, or, they don't have enough time to do certain things. Or feel that they're always running. Their day is like, for me, I felt like it's chaotic. It's like, let's just do this here and do this here whenever I can. Instead of actually having some sort of structure, which I know, I think you had mentioned, like when you have sort of that rebel in you, you think, oh, it's a struggle. Because I have that as well. It's like, don't tell me what to do, when to do it. Like, I'll do it when I want to do it, but it actually is the opposite, because it does create that freedom.
Yeah. The irony, that's the irony of this, right? The irony is you're creating the structure creates freedom, right? As long as the structure fits your rebellious energy, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me, because I think that's a common thread of the people who I tend to attract. Yeah. So if someone was thinking of joining and they were kind of overthinking, right, or sitting on the fence and thinking, oh, I don't know if I've got the time, I don't know if I've got the energy, I don't know if I've got the money, like you've addressed the time thing a little bit, but like, and they're spinning a bit, what would you say to them?
I was actually surprised at how, I don't want to like diminish it and say how little time, but your lessons are like straight and to the point. So it's not like a program where it's like, I need an hour to sit down and listen to this lesson and learn. It's not like you were going to a college class where you need that and then you need another hour to do the work afterwards. Even some of the reflection stuff, some of it took a little longer than others, but it wasn't like, oh, I can't do this. And that, ironically, that actually kind of helped create that into a habit for me in this program. It was like, okay, I'm waking up, I'm getting coffee or whatever, and then, okay, I'm going to watch the video and I'm going to print out the worksheet. And even if I didn't get a chance to do the worksheet, I had it ready for later. So that, and I don't think it has a lot of benefits and doesn't require as much time as you might think.
Yay, awesome. That's great for the people who feel time crunched. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the program and your experience of working with the people, with me, that would be helpful for anybody to know?
I think it's helpful to have somebody obviously with your knowledge who can just make it very simple for anybody to just pick it up. Because you are going into neuroscience behind it, but it's, obviously made as simple as possible so you can just understand it and apply it. But also having the other people in the program to like chat with, and especially I liked the weekly calls where you got to know each other a little bit more. And it's helpful to have somebody else hear what you have to say and then like give you feedback on it, because they'll hear things that you don't even realize you're saying. You know what I mean? Like they kind of like read between the lines of what you're saying, and it's like, oh, they can pick up on that, because when you're not attached to it, you can kind of see what's going on with somebody a little better. So that was really helpful as well.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. Yay. Well, I appreciate your feedback, and it's useful for everybody else to hear what you experienced with this program. Where can people come and find out more about you and engage with you and the work you do in the world, Camille?
So I have a couple different channels, but my main ones that link to everything else, it's always at Camitzilla, which is CAMITZILLA. Which is just a play on what my grandmother used to call me as a kid.
I love it.
So you can find me there on Instagram, Facebook. I don't really do much on YouTube yet, but
it's gonna come.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing today. I appreciate your time and your commitment to the program and showing up and engaging with everybody.
Thank you.